Welcome to the Sheénanigans Podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon all. My name is Sheénanigans Podcast. Welcome to the Sheénanigans Podcast Artist Edition, the podcast series where I interview up-and-coming artists who are not super well-known, but should be. On this episode, I'm joined by New York-based bedroom pop artist Mons Vi. He has been up-and-coming for a long while now with popular tracks such as Want Me To, Waiting, Away, and Falling. Welcome Mons Vi to the podcast. Okay, hi. Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Sheénanigans Podcast. My name is Sheénanigans and today I am joined by Mons Vi. Now, do you want me to call you Mons Vi or Matthew for the podcast? What should we go with?
Matthew's fine.
Matthew's fine. Okay. So Matthew, now I want to start with, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Because, as a fan of yours, I'm sure your fans, they don't know a whole lot about you, if you get what I mean.
Right. I'd say I'm probably an introverted extrovert. Yeah.
An introverted extrovert. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. Yeah, an introverted extrovert. Okay, so sort of I think the term is ambivert now. I'm not too sure. That's one of those new terms that people have come up with.
Ambivert. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I guess that makes me an ambivert.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Do you have any examples, perhaps, of situations, maybe, or stuff like that?
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where I like being around people. I need to be around people, but after I'm around people for a couple of hours, I need to be by myself. I lose a lot of energy, or I guess I just give a lot of energy or something. I don't know, and then I need to recover, and I need solitary time, quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, but in terms of performing, you've done live shows. You've done live shows before. So in terms of performing, how does being an ambivert affect you personally? So I think my microphone's...
Well, it's been interesting because... No problem. It's been interesting because it's I've had a band in the past, and I've also performed alone on stage. I definitely prefer to have a band on stage with me, but I guess the tension comes when, if you have a real steady band, it's you have to be a team, but at the same time, I generally like to create alone and without people watching, and that could create some tension there,
Yeah, I understand. But then, tell me, is your band Mons Vi itself, or are you personally Mons Vi, if you get what I mean?
Right. Well, right now I don't have a live band, but I just consider Mons Vi the music project. So it's when we're presenting it live, if there's a band, then the band is Mons Vi. If it's a recording, the recording came from Mons Vi. So yeah, it's just the name of the music project, I'd say.
That's cool. Okay, here's onto my next question. Where do you want your musical career to be in the next 10 years? So I don't know, let's say a certain musician that you would like to be at the same level of within the next 2 years, perhaps? Are you going for the global fame, maybe just local fame, or what kind of thing are we going for here?
You say 2 years or 10 years?
Okay, let's start with 2 years and then we can work ahead for the really long-term stuff.
2 years, it would be great to make a living off music, and to be able to focus on art full time. And 10 years, I think I look at music as one arm of what I'm doing. I'm more broadly an artist, and I have other projects going on in other media. So it's hard to say specifically musically where I want to be at, but as an artist, I would like to be able to create whatever I want whenever I want. You know what I mean? That's the key. That's what I'm going for.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So in terms of like artists that you've seen who are, at certain levels of status in the musical field, do you have any examples of people who, you would personally like to be at the same level of, perhaps?
Well, I like that Donald Glover has his hand in so many different arenas. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of his specific work, but I just admire what he's been able to do for himself and the position he's been able to put himself in. You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I would like to be.
Okay. Yeah, he does a lot. He's done the whole comedy thing, acting, the whole music thing, obviously, and then he's got his hand in so many baskets. I think I'm not too sure. He hasn't got too many eggs in one basket. In other words, he's got eggs in a whole lot of different baskets. Okay. Right, my personal favorite song of yours is probably Falling, to be honest. I love that song, Falling. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I just want to know, what is the bigger message that you want to bring through in regards to your music? Like, do you have a certain bigger message that you're trying to bring apart and give to everyone else, or is it more each song is its own and each song has its own agenda, if you will?
Yeah, I would say it's more the latter. Anytime I try to find some sort of unifying theme or something like that, it always gets destroyed the next time I make a song. So it's like, I guess it's like a process of discovery each time, and I don't know that I have a message per se, but a song has to say something for me to enjoy it, or to enjoy making it. So I just want to say something. I don't want to create empty gestures, essentially.
I respect that. That's actually, that's a good message, I think. So also similar to that question, your favorite track that you've made, what's there's not really much else to it. What's your personal favorite track that you have made,
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't really know. It's hard to say. It's too difficult.
Yeah, are they all like children? I've heard other artists compare their tracks to like children, and they just can't pick a favorite, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I haven't had children yet, so I can't speak to that, but I have heard that too. I don't know. It's hard to say, Maybe I'll know in 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, I know that your most popular track is actually Want Me To, if I'm not mistaken. It's Want Me To, right?
It's up there. It's one of the more popular ones, yeah.
Yeah. That was actually the track which I discovered you on, actually. So yeah, that's what got me hooked on your music, actually. Okay. In fact, do you know what? Tell me, what's the story behind Want Me To? Because that was a question that I had. I wanted to ask the story behind one of your more popular songs. What's the story behind that song in particular?
I to tell the truth, Okay, all right. Now, okay. I had to think about it for a second. It's been a little while.
Was it that long ago?
There's this Kurt Vile song that I like called Spring. Something with spring. I forget the actual title. Anyway, I really liked this. He had this like finger picking, like very strange, off kilter riff thing going. So I kind of was making a version of that, and then it wasn't really going anywhere. And then at some point, I just took the chords I was playing and played them in more of like a bossa pattern, and somehow "Want Me To" came out of that. So that song came from, the genesis was like a very weird folk song, and then it turned into, I guess, like a pop, like indie pop song.
Yeah, I know a lot of people call it bedroom pop nowadays. That's the yeah, that's a genre, like, you know, Clairvaux and Jacob Ogawa and people like that. You know, people refer to that sort of genre as bedroom pop. I don't know if you know those artists in particular. Like
oh yeah, no, I'm very familiar with. I mean, that's how they've classified what I've been doing for a while, and it's cool. You know, that's the wave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, a song that you wish you'd made.
Song I wish I'd made. Okay, the Kurt Vile song was called "Classic Rock in Spring," so just if anybody's interested. But song that I wish I'd made. I don't know, maybe like "In My Life" by the Beatles, or "Don't Think Twice, It's Alright" by Bob Dylan. I like that song a lot.
Okay, so you're more into like the old school vibes then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe "Hallelujah." You know what I mean? If you could have written "Hallelujah,"
Yeah, of course.
Damn good.
Yeah, that's a classic. Honestly, whenever I think of that, I just I'm probably gonna get rinsed for this, but whenever I think of Shrek. Yeah.
Our whole generation. I mean, Shrek brought us "Hallelujah," so I mean, you can't be mad at it.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard it. You know, actually, I think, yeah, that might be the first time I've heard it. But then another place where it was popularized was, you know, X Factor. Britain, the UK has a version of X Factor, and there was a winner of X Factor a few years ago. I can't remember which year, but she was called Alexandra Burke, and she had this version of "Hallelujah" that just went crazy. You know, people were playing it for ages. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite lyric you've written? Or is that similar to the favorite song question?
No, that's a little less difficult. There's a lyric in the song "Away" where I say, "I can see the wolves, even I can see the wolves." That one line, "Even I can see the wolves," is my favorite lyric that I've written.
What's the story behind that?
I mean, you know, the story's there. It's apparently I'm seeing some wolves. Yeah. The broader story behind the song was, I was traveling for a while after school, and I had been out of the country in Europe, actually, going around, and I came back to the States. It was right around the time Trump got elected, so this was a while ago, and yeah, and then that song came out. So that's the background, I guess.
Okay, that's cool. By school, sorry, I have no idea how old you are. So by school, are we talking like high school or college, or I mean, I don't know, what do you call it in where you are in Canada? Am I correct?
No, I'm in New York City.
New York City. Oh, that's expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to live here. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So are we talking high school or college or?
No, college. Yeah, I got out of college about 4 years ago, I'd say. And yeah, I took some time and traveled and got out of the States. And it was right around the time Trump was campaigning still. I just remember talking to all these Europeans like, oh, is this real? And I was like, no, it's not real. Don't worry. He's nothing, we're not going to elect him. It's a joke.
Yeah, I think we all thought that. Yeah, honestly, like sometimes when I'm on like Reddit and other places, I just see people who honestly thought that and still do think that he was campaigning just as a joke or just for publicity or something, And honestly, to be fair, I'm sort of convinced at the same time as well, like there's no way that someone. Let's not get into politics right now, though, because this is a new.
Are you in college?
I should be. I'm 19, so I am just before college or university, as we call it here. So I am. Hang on, I'm supposed to be interviewing you. But yeah, no, I am. Yeah, I'm just about to move into it, but I had to resit the year, so yeah. But that's a different story. Okay. So, do you have any artists who you personally think that we need to look out for in the coming next few years or even months?
Good question. There's this band, Hypoluxo, some friends of mine. They're going to be putting out an album in the next couple months. Other artists. I mean, there's this band called Seafoam Walls from Miami, who's really cool. I have to think about that. That's a good question. I mean, there's Magdalena Bay in California. They're cool. Also from Miami originally. I'm also from Miami originally, so a lot of these people are my friends. This guy Ginger Root is good. This guy Teen Blush in Chicago is good. The record label Spirit Goth has some cool acts. If you want to check them out. This band Vansire is cool.
Oh, I love Vansire, yeah.
Yeah, they're big in the bedroom pop thing. Yeah, a lot of people I think are about to make a jump. So, you'll be able to tell me better in the next year or two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. You've just given me a lot of people whose links I need to put in the description of this video now. So thank you for that. But no, thank you. Yeah, you've just put me onto a lot of artists. I'll definitely need to check them out. And of course, listeners, you need to check them out as well. For the listeners, I just pointed at the camera, telling you to listen to those artists. But yeah. Also, of course, Matthew is telling you to listen to them as well. Okay. Which artist has been your greatest inspiration? I know you mentioned Bob Dylan, and I can't remember the other one who you mentioned, but Bob Dylan inspired you with a certain song. Let's say apart from Bob Dylan and sorry, what was the other artist? I'm sorry.
The Beatles.
The Beatles, of course, yeah. How could I forget the Beatles? But yeah, apart from Bob Dylan and the Beatles, which artists have been your biggest inspirations when it comes to writing tracks?
Well, those two. I really like Lou Reed and Velvet Underground and Leonard Cohen. Those are basically my pantheon as far as inspiration when I'm writing.
Yeah, that's cool. So, basically just old school artists then. That's cool. Respect that. Yeah. Was there a particular moment in your life where you thought, you had a thought, this is what I want to do with my life. This music thing is something that I really want to carry on with and try and make something of in the years to come?
Yeah, I was 19. I was your age, and I was in college for the first time. And I thought I was going to be a doctor. And it was the beginning of my second year of college, and I just didn't go to any classes all year. And instead, I was just like smoking a lot of pot and like just in my dorm room making music. And I was thinking, oh, I'll just take the midterm. And then I missed the midterm. And then I was like, well, I'll just take the final. And then I missed the final. And then I one night was watching this like Bob Dylan documentary, and I don't know, it was just the first time that I realized that like, oh, music can be like, you could bring a literary bent to music and like make more than just pop tunes or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with pop tunes, it's the basis of what I'm doing, but that you can be an artist in music. And then so I quit school, I left, and then I made a music studio. So it was one late night, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I kind of had a little freak out and realized, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. Had you wanted to be a doctor for a long time beforehand? Was that what you were really hell-bent on, or was the doctor thing?
I think my mom wanted me to be a doctor. I think that I didn't know what I wanted to do, but you go to college when you're 18 and you're just supposed to choose something. So I was like, oh, I guess choose to be a doctor. But a year and a half in, I was like, fuck that. So.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, to be like, there's a lot of pressure put on the youth of today, in order to, like, where we need to know what we want to do with our lives at a young age. I mean, like, we're the same people who ride trolleys, like shopping carts, down hills just for the fun of it. How are we supposed to know where we want to be within the next 10 years, Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and I think something does need to be done about it. I mean, especially that parents put on their kids as well, to be something in the STEM field, or I don't know, just something intellectual, if you get what I'm saying. I know that obviously I don't want to bring stereotypes into it, but I know that a lot of ethnic people, such as Africans or Asians or wherever, they get pressured a lot to do that. But
yeah,
we don't
that
need
was
to
a
go
big
in.
part of it. No, having an Asian mom was, got to be a doctor, you know what I mean? And I had to go to Harvard. When I didn't get into Harvard, it was like a huge debacle, you know what I mean? So there was a lot of that, you know what I mean? In that case, the stereotype is true.
yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay.
But as far as the pressure to decide on something, I think that that's an individual thing. I don't think that you can expect the rules of society, or like the pressure that society places on you, to change. I think that you just have to choose to ignore it, or actively go against it, and then when it comes time for you to be the parent, you'll have a different perspective on it, you know what I mean? But I think it's a totally individual thing, and just don't yield to that pressure. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, do you personally want children of your own?
I do, yeah. we're going real deep now.
Yeah. So, do you see yourself encouraging them to pursue music, or do you see, like, what do you see yourself? I suppose, I don't want to say urging, but more. What do you see yourself being more happy with them choosing to do in the long run?
I plan to, like, Basically that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've heard stuff like that happens in a lot of families actually. So yeah, no. I mean, do you play piano yourself actually, or are you mainly in guitar and
Yeah, I grew up on piano. I grew up, my mom would, she wouldn't whip me out. It was a joke, but she would. I would have to fight with her because I hated practicing. You know what I mean? And it's the kind of thing where now it's like, oh, thank God she made me practice piano. But at the time, it stunk.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm sure when you began to, pursue music seriously, she was probably thinking, "Oh man, why did I make Matthew?"
That's exactly right. She was like, "Ah, bit her right in the ass," That's funny.
Okay. Well, now it's time to. Oh no! In fact, actually, we didn't get your answer to the question. What would you see yourself urging or being happy about your kids pursuing in the long run? What would make you happiest to see your kids do?
Honestly, whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? If short of being a serial killer or something like that, that would be disconcerting. But it's whatever. I'm pretty open.
That's cool. Okay. Well, now it's time to move on to the would you rather questions, just to sort of ease things out. Let's say, would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
Lose the ability to read, for sure.
Okay, let's say you're able to sing, actually, because obviously music is a big deal. So, let's say...
No, yeah, I would still choose speak. I mean, that's important. I have other people read for me,
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna go with the Floyd Mayweather approach, okay?
Got to make 500 mil, and then I'll have people read for me.
I mean, fair enough. I probably wouldn't do the same if I was Floyd Mayweather. I'd probably have learned to read, but I think I'd probably choose the same, to be honest. Okay, would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Ooh. Scales. Then I could be like an alien or something like that. Covered in fur, that's weird. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a human covered in fur.
You know what? Honestly, I'd have to disagree with you there. I think I'd go with fur because you see a whole lot of really hairy people around the world, and it's hardly any different to, I don't know, being a dog or a bear or something. So for me personally, that's...
Well, exactly, yeah. You would be a dog or a bear. Would you rather be a dog or a bear? Or like some kind of like... You could be perceived as like an extraterrestrial, like, you're going lower, I'm going higher. That's higher.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, everyone needs their unique selling point as a musician. Yeah, I mean, there aren't any, not to my knowledge, there aren't any musicians with covered in scales around the world, so, But yeah, fair enough. Okay, jail for a year or lose a year off the end of your life?
Lose a year. I'll cut the year.
Yeah, no, I know that prisons in America are pretty bad, so...
Yeah, are prisons in England nice?
I mean, they're not as bad as prisons in America seem to be. I mean, I've seen some documentaries, like I was watching this one Louis Theroux. You know Louis Theroux? I don't know if he's big in America. Oh, okay, he's a very big documentarian, I suppose, journalist. He's a big journalist here, and he's done a few documentaries, and he did one or a few in an American prison, and yeah, they don't seem too ideal. And I mean, for me personally, someone of my build, yeah, I don't think I'd be taking any showers, that's for sure. But Okay, so back on the topic of mothers, honestly, I forgot I'd written this one down, but let's just go with it. Would you rather slap your mother or go to prison for 2 weeks?
Slap my mother or go to prison for 2 weeks. I think probably go to prison for 2 weeks, just because 2 weeks is like not that bad. I feel like, you know, I could steer clear of the showers for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And then I'd be able to have that experience. I'd be able to, like, yeah, you know, I was in prison for 2 weeks, and people would be like, why? And I'd be like, well, you know, I didn't want to slap my mom, so I had to go to prison for 2 weeks.
Oh man, yeah, I understand that. To be honest, I think I'd consider going to prison for 2 weeks as well, you know, because the idea of not being able to explain it as well, like, I can't just slap my mom and then tell her, oh, sorry, I would have gone to prison for 2 weeks otherwise. No one's gonna believe that. Like, so yeah, I think I'd have to do the prison sentence, not gonna lie. Especially, like, hopefully it doesn't go on my criminal record. Here's another one. Go back to the age of 5 with everything you know now, or would you rather know everything your future self will learn?
Honestly, both of those sound kind of crappy. Yeah, I don't want to do it all again. That's for sure. But I also don't want to, like, kill the mystery of the rest of it. So, I mean, I guess I'd have to do it all again. You have to go back to 5, because otherwise it's like, well, what's the point of the rest of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I feel like one of the things about life that's so important and such a big deal for me personally is that we can make it anything we want to, you know. Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah, we can make it anything we want to if we have the willpower to do so, you know. So so either way, no, in fact, wait, I'm not even either way. So realistically, going back to the age of 5 would be the most beneficial to me personally, because I'm gaining 14 years of my life, you know. I'm gaining another 14 years, but at the same time, seeing everything that my future self would learn, that's a con for me. That's a negative, because then, you know, I don't get to make my life my own, you know, and it's, you know, it loses its value, I suppose. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it loses its value. That's just my opinion anyway.
I agree. It's just an element of, like, free will that you're losing or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know some people would probably see that as a positive, though, being able to see into the future, like, know everything their future self will learn. But, yeah. Okay, that brings us to the end. I have one final question. The whole world is able to see you and hear you for 10 seconds. What do you say?
Oh my God. I would say follow me on Instagram, follow me on SoundCloud. No. I would say, you know, investigate 311, you know.
311, what's that?
It's an Eric Andre bit.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I would say.
I'm actually.
You know, I would say George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's what I would say.
I like that reference. Yeah. I mean, does any precedent though?
But
it's very, very true.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mons Vi, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you very much for appearing on the Sheénanigans Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening this far into the podcast, and I will see you all next time.